Hey Canucks fans, how confident are you in this team as they embark on their annual Eastern Canada road trip? I am Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks Take All in One Take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Sunday, November the 6th. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Hope you're well. I haven't vlogged for a couple days. I wanted to check in, make sure you guys knew that I was still alive. Yes, I watched the game, at least parts of the game last night. I'll get to that in a second. I'm at in a backstage AV room at the theater where we're doing our big Grade 7 rally, and that's why I haven't been that active in the last couple days, and I won't be active for the next couple days, but hopefully back to normal on Tuesday or Wednesday. Having said all of that, I was able to catch the second and third period of last night's game. No sound. We were at a restaurant with all of our guests, but I was able to see the second, third period, the overtime, the shootout, and then I went back and rewatched the first period. And obviously there was a lot of good and a lot of bad in last night's game. Yes, the Canucks blew another multi-goal lead, very reminiscent of the first 2 weeks of the season. But I think the difference yesterday is it's not like they were vastly outplayed in the last 40 minutes. I'd say the second period, they were still fine. They only gave up the one Nashville goal. It was the third period. Yeah, they had a horrible start to the third period. But then the rest of the third, I thought they played okay. They weren't great, but they weren't as bad as they were the first 2 weeks of the season. Ultimately, it only results in 1 point as opposed to two. And the Canucks obviously need every single point that they can get. Didn't mind the line switches. So basically, Podkolzin got scratched. Hoglander moves up to play with Miller and Horvat. And then it was Connor Garland getting dropped down to the third line to play with Dries and Pearson. Then you keep Pettersson with the two Russians in Mikheyev and Kuzmenko, and then the fourth line was Aman, Joshua, and Studnicka. They were fine. First line was good as well. They actually connected on the second goal, and then some of them were involved in power play, but they were responsible for the second goal. The second line was responsible for the first goal, that really nice shot by Mikheyev. And then the third goal was a power play goal. So all three Canucks goals were good. The first one, Mikheyev coming down the left side with a great snapshot or wrist shot, whatever that was. The second one was a rebound off some really good work by Horvat and Hoglander, and then Miller puts it in on a one-timer. And then the third goal was a really nice power play goal. Hughes to Miller, Kuzmenko setting up shop, so good in front of the net. And the Canucks were going into the first intermission with a 3-0 lead. And probably the most dominant period of the entire young season. Second period, yes, Nashville scores that one on the power play. Not going to blame Demko. It was that guy, that defenseman, getting his first career goal. Sort of similar to Kuzmenko, not exactly. He had more speed, but it was a tip in front of Demko. Not going to blame Demko at all. And the Canucks seemed to have the game in control going into the final period. But then we knew that the Nashville Predators scored twice in the first 2 minutes, and both actually off of face-off plays. The first one was a draw in the Canucks zone. Horvat lost it, and then eventually the puck gets back to the point, and then it gets through a sea of people. But it's the third Nashville goal that I didn't like. That was the one where Dries lost a faceoff. Sure, you can lose a faceoff, and then it was almost a set play. They rushed in from the left side, went around the net. Garland got beat around the net, but then Stillman, for whatever reason, loses his man, tries to help out Garland, collides with Garland, and that left Nashville forward all alone in front of the net. I can't remember who it was now, but so then that made it 3-3, and then of course they played until the end, and then not a very eventful overtime, and then a shootout where the Canucks did not. Both Petey missed the net on a really nice move. Miller shot it right into Saros's pads, and then you had Horvat leaving the puck at the face-off dot. So frustrating night from a standpoint of once you saw how well the Canucks started with a 3-0 start, going in the first period with that 3-goal lead, and you would hope that they were able to shut it down against a national team that wasn't much higher than them in the standings. So that was a tricky part. Just going to move my arm. I'm not using my tripod there, so my arm's getting sore already. So that was a tricky part of last night's game, was that the Canucks could have won, should have won, and would have one more point in the standings. Now, what happens next? Well, they're looking to get Brock Besser back, so that hopefully will help with a bit more of the offense. Although I wouldn't say offense is an issue with this team. Also, Travis Dermott took a game day skate, non-contact jersey, but at least he looks like he's getting closer to return the lineup. So that'll be good. It'll be interesting to see where he plays, considering that right now Rathbone and Burrows aren't even in the lineup, being scratched in favor of Stillman and Bear. No problem with Bear. You got to get the new guy in, but with Stillman, I'm surprised that Stillman is playing as much as he has been. So there's that as well. When Besser comes in, yet another forward has to be scratched. Right now, there's already Hoglander was 2 games ago. Podkolzin was last game. So who comes in when Besser comes in? Who comes out when Besser comes in? That's going to be an interesting story to watch. And then when Travis Dermott is eventually cleared to play, maybe still a week away after this 3-game road trip or after these 3 games, then we will see what happens with Travis Dermott. And it's a simple one. You simply take out Riley Stillman, who hasn't been great. He's been okay, but he hasn't been great. And then you go with the top 6 of Hughes, Shen, Oyel, Myers, and whatever order you want to go with. And then you can have Dermott and Bear. Although yesterday I know that Stillman was playing with Myers and that Oyel was with Bear. And then, of course, they kept Hughes and Shen together. Now, we talk about all that. The Canucks go out. They face Ottawa on Tuesday. They face Montreal on Wednesday. And then Toronto on Saturday. Toronto did beat Boston yesterday. I get that. But these are 3 winnable games. I'm not saying they're guaranteed wins at all. But certainly, the Ottawa and the Montreal game, these are teams, yeah, they might be I think Ottawa's slightly above the Canucks in the standings, but these aren't teams that are world beaters by any stretch of the imagination. You can put the Maple Leafs in that category too. So the Canucks could conceivably win the next 3, conceivably, and then after 15 games, be 500. They'd be 6-6-3, because right now they're 3-6-3. But what's hard with this team is anytime you think they're going to put together a bit of a run, get closer to 500, and remember, that's just 500. That's not the 13 games over 500 that they're going to have to be, or even 14 or 15 games over 500 that they're going to have to be to make the playoffs. That's simply to get back to 500. The Canucks aren't there yet. They're still 3 games under 500. If they had won last night, they'd be 4-6-2 as opposed to 3-6-3. That looks a lot better, obviously. And then you could have said the Canucks had won 4 out of the last 5. They beat Seattle, they beat Pittsburgh in back-to-back nights. Yes, they lost in New Jersey, but then they won against Anaheim on Thursday. And if they had won last night, you're talking about winning 4 out of the last 5. However, with the loss, you can basically say they've only got 5 points out of 10. They got 2-2-1 because again, they in beating Seattle, in beating Pittsburgh. Or sorry, you would say they're 3-1-1. So I guess it's only 3 wins out of the last 5, which is still pretty good. But I think my point is, 1 point makes a big difference, especially when you're battling. You're so far behind at the start of the season. So it would be nice for the Canucks to pick up that extra point. It'd be nice if they didn't even give Nashville a point, because who knows? Maybe Nashville's a team that we're fighting with for a wild card spot. But that's getting way ahead of ourselves. I want to know what you thought about last night's game. What was the good for you? I.e. some of the offense. Special teams, by the way, too. The Canucks went 1-4-4, and they killed off 4 out of the 5 Nashville penalties. So you can't point to special teams as the difference maker in a bad way. Canucks went 1-4, 20%, and then they killed off 80% of Nashville's power plays. So overall, you don't want them losing the lead, but you're happy you get the point. But at this point, already, you need every single point that you can get. So Canucks fans, vibe check. Let me know how you're feeling right now about the team after that homestand. Let me know how you feel about their chances heading out to Ottawa, Montreal, and Toronto. Those are the 3 games this week. Let me know in the comments below. Tonight, I will not be live streaming because I'll be hosting our guests after the end of our youth rally tonight. And then tomorrow night, I'll be doing the same. So I think I'll be back to regular nightly live streams starting on Tuesday night, but I will fill you in as we go. But let me know your thoughts on this team right here, right now, in the comment section. Shout out to my sponsors, Van City Expert Real Estate, Perform and Transform, Personal Training and Weight Loss. Thank you, legendary Lucas Gates, who's in Montreal, legendary Justin Credible, legendary Andrew Chang, Hall of Fame and franchise members as well. Thanks to all of you for watching me and supporting me on this channel. So as always, subscribe if you'd like to, like this video if you'd like to, become a member or upgrade your membership if you'd like to, leave a tip, a super thanks if you'd like to, and definitely leave a comment down below if you'd like to with your Canucks vibe check right now. 1 big road trip down in the books, 1 big homestand down, and now we got the rest of the season. 70 more games. Can the Canucks turn this around, and can they do it quickly? Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. Have a great day. God bless, and go Canucks go.